Well, first of all, welcome to the boathouse, everybody. We're really happy to have you here. Lake Mendota always looks like this. It's fabulous and perfect, and we're happy to showcase her today, and we thank her. Of course, probably part of that is because almost no one practiced this morning because we were fresh off the road at 3 a.m. this morning. We got back to Madison, but that's okay. We'll take good water whenever we can get it. The whole boathouse had a really good weekend, and I think, I know that the other coaches may mention this as well, but our boathouse has had a really sort of breathtaking year in coming together. And we're a little bit unique in the country in that we have a lightweight women's team, an open weight women's team, and a men's team that not only are pretty successful, but we really root for each other, and we want each other to be successful, and we build off of each other's successes. And so we were all on the road in different parts of the country. The lightweights were in Boston, the open weights were in Sacramento, and the men were in San Francisco Bay Area. And we were all texting each other, how's it going? How you doing? And of course there's the Twitter thing that I don't do, but other people do it, and they tell me what's going on, so that's good. But I think that's really helped us. And on the open weight side, this team they're tough, they're strong, they're happy, and they're resilient, and they're relentless in getting what they know they deserve. And we've never really gotten to this level before, and this weekend gave us a good opportunity to go up against the #1 ranked team in the country, as well as I think the other two, the Cal and Brown, were also in the top 10. And then we had 4 or 5 other top 20 ranked teams that we were able to go up against, and they were really good. It was a great learning experience for them. We raced really well Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, we struggled just a little bit. I think it was fatigue as much as the fact that we were going up against Stanford, who's really strong, and we felt we were competitive and able to compete with them. And we let that get in the way just a little bit of our performance. And we talked about it, and they came back Sunday morning and just rocked it. And they were fast, and they were, they came off the water going, yep, we get it. We totally understand. So you can't buy that. You can't buy that. That was awesome. And I'm really proud of their performance. I'm proud of the women that were back here training to support them and to support our team. And I'm just excited about the rest of our campaign. We're just finishing a pretty hard road warrior month. And I've been to California twice, been to Florida, a little Iowa in between. So we're happy to be home this weekend. And even though home's 45 minutes away, we're happy to be home and getting ready for Big Ten championships.
How do you think your freshmen have competed these past couple weeks?
Oh my gosh. Well, you never know what you're going to get with freshmen, obviously. And this year's group, we have a lot of recruits that have made the top freshman boat, which is good because a lot of times our recruits, our walk-on population is so strong here that a lot of times if the recruits aren't really on their game and ready to go, the walk-ons will be able to come up and compete with them. And in the past, we've had a lot of walk-ons on the boats, which is great for our future, but it's hard to get them up to speed racing right away. And last weekend, our freshmen had their first race against other teams and won by a lot of open water. And so this weekend was going to be the real challenge for them. They were going up against other schools' third varsity boats. They don't row freshman categories in the Pac-12, so they just go first varsity, second varsity, third varsity, and wherever the freshmen fit, they fit. But we had a true freshman boat out there, and they brought it. They raced hard. They were competitive. They were fearless. It was really fun, and they have bought into what it is to be a Badger completely. And I think because of that, they have a lot of pride going out there. This year's team is special. They have figured out how to trust each other, how to have pride in each other, how to expect the best out of themselves and each other. And they have really brought the freshmen along. And our freshmen our first boat is still undefeated against some really strong Cal boats, Cal 3V and 4V. We beat them head to head, and they looked great doing it. So it was really exciting to have them out there. We were fortunate to be able to take them out there, and we look forward to them continuing to get better and race up through the next couple of weeks and on to Big Tens.
Bebe, who's in your varsity 4, and what was it like to see them beat top-ranked Brown?
Obviously very exciting, and that was a new lineup. We hadn't raced that lineup before. Who's in it? I got in at 3 o'clock this morning, so those hard questions they were all on the plane with me, and they were all on the bus ride back. Rosie Brzezinski was our coxswain, who's a sophomore. Our stroke was Maren Schultz, who's a sophomore. Our 3-seat was Morgan Freeman, who just moved into the boat. She's a sophomore. 2-seat was Claire Scott. She's a junior. And our bow seat, I knew there was going to be one. I'm sorry. Wait. Oh, I can't remember. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm tired. Anyway. Yeah, thank you. Who was in the bow of the 4? Monica Gerber, thank you. Sophomore. Sorry, Monty, really. And they were brilliant in the heat against Brown. And then again, the youth in that boat, they got a little bit, excited and anxious, and they're like baby rattlesnakes. Baby rattlesnakes are more dangerous than adult rattlesnakes because they don't know how to marshal their venom. They just go, and then it's done. And so, whereas a mature rattlesnake will just make sure that they can kill you slowly and take care of business. So they learned that a little bit in the second race. They got shook up in the second race against Stanford because they really were excited about being able to beat a really good team, and as a result of that, they got beat. So again, they learned that lesson and came back on Sunday just on fire and went really fast. I mean, all of our boats were it was a fast course, but I mean, we were fast. It was fun. And that 4 led the way. So, good for them. And again, a new lineup. And I think the main difference is that everybody in all of these boats, it's, as a lot of the coaches have said, it's an individual sport in that you will never push yourself to do anything harder. And yet you have to do it exactly with the other people in the boat. So if you relate it to golf, it's take that drive 260 times as hard and as fast as you can, exactly with 8 other people. And the ball has to go exactly the same place on each of those 260 strokes with the other people. So, it requires a lot of buy-in, and that's what we have this year. And it's been a work in progress, and it's just total trust. Us, the coaching staff, to the athletes, the coaching staff, together, and we're just one unit that has faith in each other, and we're just having a really good time, including the 4, which was your original question.
I have 2 questions. Just got done reading Boys in the Boat.
Yeah.
And I was wondering how you thought of that. Is that typical of a crew?
Yes. It's a really good book, so anybody that hasn't read it, it's a great read. And there's a number of rowing books out there that aren't something that I would read. So I didn't read this one for a long time, but so many people said, oh, it's so great, it's so great, it's so great. So I read it, and it's just really well written, and it is a very good representation of what it's like. And it's sort of fun, too, because this is a very small world. Rowing is a small world, and we actually row in Pocock racing shells, he was a big part of that book. So that history continues on here.
And the other question, just rowing at Devil's Lake again.
Yeah.
What's the conditions perfect, hopefully?
Hopefully, it looks like it's going to be a south wind again, so we're hoping that the forecast is wrong, as it has a tendency to be. But it's supposed to be nice and warm and beautiful, and there should be a big crowd out there. And it's just such a beautiful race course, and it can handle a lot of wind. So we're looking forward to a great showing, and this is sort of a dress rehearsal. We're trying to get the Big Ten championships up there in the next couple of years. So, we're pulling out most of the stops to show that we can host a national caliber regatta there, and so it's going to be great. The department has just been awesome in supporting it and helping us really get it going, and giving us the help that we need to make it make it a great day.
Bebe, the uniqueness of Devil's Lake. You've talked about this before, the unique setting that it is. Are there any other lakes? Are there any other places in the state that intrigue you that you've heard about that might fit that same bill?
Not as much as this one. First of all, it's the proximity to the university. You know, if it's going to be home, it would be nice to not have to stay overnight somewhere to race there. Also, the shelter that it provides. With rowing, you know, the scenery is nice, the support system is nice, but it's all about the water. And so if you can get protection from at least 3 directions, that means a lot. And so the walls, the cliffs are what offer that. And it is a pretty small lake. It's just over 2,000 meters, so it's perfect. That makes it a little bit more protected. It also makes it an awesome place to watch from. When it's at its best, I don't think there's a better place to watch rowing in the country.
Little switching topics. This is an Olympic year.
Yes.
So there's a couple of Badgers who have a pretty good chance this year, perhaps. Can you talk about, I think, Vicky Opitz, who's, I think, from Middleton, and
Yep.
and Grace Latz, and I don't know if I'm missing anyone else, but talk
Monica
about
Whitehouse also. So great. Vicky Opitz is a local girl. She grew up in Middleton. Her grandpa is Randy Jablonic, who was a coach here for a long time with the men. She's been in the 8 the last couple of years as a world champion and a world record holder, and things are on track for her to compete her way back into that boat again this summer. The 8 hasn't lost in international competition in 10 years. So we are, the United States team, especially on the sweep side, is probably one of the best sports stories in history that almost nobody knows about. They're just dominant, and they're amazingly good, and she's got a good shot to get back in that boat. Grace Latz is from Michigan. Both of these women were walk-ons here. Graduated in 2010. Grace was in the 4 that won the World Championships last year. The 4 is not an Olympic event, so she's got to get her way back either into the quad or into the 8, and she's working hard to make that happen. And then Monica Whitehouse, who graduated a couple of years ago, her sister's actually a sophomore on the team now. She is competing it's either this weekend or next weekend down in Sarasota, Florida, to make the lightweight double. So those are the 3 women that are competing, and they've all got pretty good shots at it, and it's really exciting.
Coach, you were talking earlier about, you know, the breathtakingness of this building now, how everyone seems to be a true team. What kind of intangibles do you see maybe in that? Because that's obviously something you can't teach.
Well, I think some of it starts with the coaching staff. And, you know, I think all of us know that, first of all, we really like and respect each other. And rowers are a little quirky. We appreciate that. And, you know, just being in this building together, we talk each other off cliffs a lot, you know, and that's really helpful. And we've been through a lot with each other. You know, Coach Clark and I, this is our 12th year here. He's been here a lot longer than I have, but Dusty was here in a previous stint and is back now, and all of the assistant coaches, we're one team. And that's unique. You know, we obviously have our own team's interests first and foremost, but we really are one team, and we share that with the rowers, because that only makes us stronger. I mean, we're Badgers, and we're all Badgers together, and this department is special, and this school is special, and we own that. And so why not take advantage of it? You know, we all want each other to be successful, so that's just a little bit more power that's sitting in our boats with us when we need it. So I think it's a team effort. It's all of us working together, all of us respecting each other, and, you know, we know that at the end of the day, we've got each other's backs completely, and the athletes know that too, and they follow suit. It's great.
How do you know so much about rattlesnakes? Do you like snakes?
One of my dreams that I have recurring nightmares of is snakes that run after me in my house. They don't run, but they like go over. I'm jumping off tables and running around things. I'm a Californian, so I do rattlesnakes. And there are rattlesnakes at Lake Natoma. In fact, there have been instances of rattlesnakes in boats. Not recently. There's turkeys now, but Not in the boats. But, yeah, so the rattlesnake thing, though, it's true. You know, if you get rid of all your venom at once and you don't get the job done, you're sort of screwed because you're going to die. But if you know how to do it a little bit at a time, you're probably going to get the job done. Yeah. That rattlesnakes? Yeah. Wisconsin? Yes. Get out. See, you learned from me and I learned from you. Thank you. I'll look for them.
Coach, back to the Olympics. I know there's concern over the water and
Yeah.
what they're going to row in. How concerning is that as a coach?
You know, it's the Olympics. If it were not the Olympics, I think the answer would be different. But safeguards are going to be taken, and I think we can do it safely. I think people are going to get sick, but when it gets to that point, these are all mature athletes. These are all grown adult people that can make that choice for themselves whether or not they want to go. It's the same thing with the Zika virus. And unfortunately for the rowers and the swimmers, at least we're not swimming in it. You know, it's unfortunate that that's the situation that they find themselves in. You know, but if you talk to any of the women that were in the 1980 Olympic team that wasn't allowed to go and compete, they will tell you that they would have done anything to be able to go and compete. And I'm confident that these women feel the same way, that all the athletes feel the same way, and that all possible safeguards will be taken. And I think it's a justifiable gamble to take. If it were me, I'd go. If I were coaching, I'd go.
Would you go as a spectator?
I would love to go as a spectator. Yeah. It's not out of the realm of possibility.